We have a mess to clean up when it comes to that, because for too long, the church has created a shelter for anti-Semitic language and thought. So my Christian upbringing was really kind of vanilla in a lot of ways. I grew up in what I would call a very passive evangelicalism. But I did have a lot of amazing experiences learning about Jewish people by going to synagogue with a friend of mine. And so I got to experience a lot of what the language and the culture looked like up close. And it was very different than, I think a lot of people may have a passing understanding of what Jewish people are like, but I got to kind of experience a lot more of the culture and the beauty of it. And so that was really interesting for me as a kid to be able to see up close. In 2004, The Passion of the Christ came out. And that was one of the first times when I began to hear people speaking negatively about Jewish people. And so I think it was tragic that it was a Christian movie, supposedly a Christian story about the person of Jesus, that began to draw out a lot of this racism that was lingering under the surface. And at least for me, it was one of the first times it put it right up in my face. I think seeing the language like that come out against the Jewish people and the anger, what it really began to do in me was put a sense of, well, first of all, understanding the division that was taking place. Like, not everybody was saying these things, but there were enough that I was like, why are there that many people in Christianity who would communicate this way about the Jewish people? But the other piece of me was, how do I become a part of the solution of that? Because obviously this is my world. Like, as a believer, as a pastor, this is the place that I live in. And so how do I make this house a better house, if that makes sense? We have a mess to clean up when it comes to that, because for too long, the church has created a shelter for anti-Semitic language and thought. And maybe it's not everywhere, but it's in enough places, and we've done little enough to say something about it, that we have something to apologize for, and we have something to make right here. I would respond to somebody who's experienced anti-Semitism, first of all, by saying, I am so sorry. It's wrong. It shouldn't happen. I know it can't be erased or taken away or just made to not exist. I think what we would really want Jewish people to know about Christians is that we see what they've walked through, what they have been through. And there is a time in history where we stood on, many of us, on the wrong side. And I would say to Jewish people that we want you to know that we're not going to do that again. The goal, in my mind, is for us to stand in front and say, we are with you, we picked a side, it's your side. We are for you, we believe in you, we love you, and we're not going to sit back passively and just watch what happens anymore.